Move this here. Hello everyone, welcome to the live stream. Apologies for the slight delay. There's been a lot of stuff going on around the minute which I wasn't aware of, so apologies for that. Apologies for being so late this time. I know I'm always a little bit late, but yeah, this is super late and I really do apologise for that. Thank you all though for sticking around in the chat. Yep, I've got the Adidas shirt on. Order is restored. Let's see who's in the chat real quick before we get started. We've got a lot to go over, so I can't wait to get into it with you guys, but let's just get right into it. So we've got Adzinko, Sarah Sanders, Alstral Gaming 99, Mark Mountney, Dan23, Planet Adam, Nathan Mann, Angry Pacifist, Vortex 257, Mr. Scarlo, Lewis Richings, Paul Malley, Hoovian 10, the main protagonist. I think that's everyone. Yeah, and Michael, Rick and Morty fan as well. Hello to you all. I'm so sorry I'm late. Like, genuinely, really sorry I'm late. I hope you can all hear me. I assume you can, given that you're all responding in the chat and stuff. Yeah, it's only a slight delay. It's only been about, 10 minutes? That's not too bad. Hello, Ben. How are you? Yeah, let's just get right into it. We've got quite a bit of news to go over, so let's just get into it, shall we? First up on the agenda, we've got the birthdays. Yesterday's birthday was Carol Ann Ford. I hadn't mentioned this anywhere else, so I just thought I'd mention it here. So, happy birthday to the first companion, the first Doctor's granddaughter, Carol Ann Ford, from obviously 1963 to 1964. I believe she's 84, which, looking at her now, she's aged incredibly well. So happy birthday to her. And of course, happy birthday to our current Doctor, Jodie Whittaker, as well. You can see is it still trending? Is it still? Because I saw it was trending. Yep, it is. Still trending. So, that's cool, I guess. So yeah, thank you all for coming out. That's not it, don't worry. There's other things. I obviously just want to get a few people in here. If you guys could just do me a favour, because I am late, just share the link around, share the stream around. Let's get everyone in here, because I've got a lot to go over, and I'm genuinely pretty excited to go over quite a few of these things. We're starting off small, and then we're working our way up to the bigger stuff. So strap yourselves in for what will be probably a pretty fun stream. Hello, main protagonist, how are you? Tharries, you sound weirdly like a newsreader. That is basically what I am these days, Nathan. Essentially, without the good pay, essentially. Yeah, I've seen that birthday get up. I'll see if I can get it up on Twitter now, actually. I did post a picture of it, which is here. There it is. There is Jodie's get up, and obviously you can see a little caption that I made there. But we won't talk about that too much, because I don't want to get into anything. But, yeah, let's get into the actual stuff for today, I suppose. First thing we've got is pertaining to B&M set leaks. Apparently a new History of the Daleks set 5 has been leaked. As you can see there, they're 60s designs, and one of them's got a weird ball thing. So if anyone can identify what story that's from, I'd be very appreciative. Oh no, it actually says I assume it's a Power of the Daleks thing, because I don't remember anyone from the Daleks having that on. So, but the person who sent me this, who I've kept anonymous for the sake of I don't want him getting bombarded with stuff, is, hey, all I know is this picture had come from an eBay listing, sold at £35. A Doctor Who figure page on Facebook has said that the sets are most likely going out within the next few weeks. Also, I'm very conscious now of whenever I touch my nose, because obviously you've all pointed out that apparently I picked it, which all I do is this, but it looks like I picked it. Like, that's all I do. But you see my finger, it goes a little bit bent, so it looks like it goes farther up than it actually does. That's gross. But yeah, I'm very conscious now whenever I touch my face. So thank you all for making me super subconscious. But yeah, looks like we're getting a new History of the Daleks set, and as I've said before, I do think that character could be doing more with the license. I do feel like just recycling old figures, I think they could be doing more. I don't know whether it's a budgetary thing or they're just not allowed to make stuff or what, but yeah, I've always felt like they're doing more. Obviously, I believe that Ball Dalek, which is a really weird name, I believe that is a new form of Dalek with that appendage. But still, it's basically just a 60s Dalek with a new ball, essentially. I'll still probably pick it up, but that is essentially what it is. And I do feel like, I've said this before, they could be doing more with the figures. Though that's just me personally. Obviously, we had the recent leaking of the Sensorite set as well, so a lot of B&M leaks seemingly happening at the moment. Before we get into that, let me know what your guys' thoughts on the figure leaks, first of all. What do you guys think? Tharries, you won't find any more leaks in your nose. Oh, god damn it. Do you think Series 13 will be her best series? I hope so. I really do hope that, like, Series 13 is the culmination, like, the best parts of this era, rather than the worst parts. That would be my hope. I don't know whether that'll be the case. But yeah. I didn't... Oh my god. Tharries, what are your thoughts on Series 13 and the Master Timeless Child? I assume you mean the theory that the Master will be the Timeless Child. I honestly don't mind it. It's better than the Doctor being the Timeless Child, put it that way, but at the same time, I do feel like it does still create the power imbalance in the Doctor and the Master's dynamic, which I'm not overly keen on. I like them to be on level pegging. I think it makes their dynamic much more interesting, because the Master thinks he's inferior despite being on the same level, and he constantly feels as though he has to prove himself to the Doctor. I agree, a Genesis set would be quite cool. You could have a Season 12 4th Doctor, along with perhaps a Michael Wisher-Davros and a Grey Dalek, which we know that they've released many times before. But yeah, I wouldn't mind a Genesis set at all. I just think they could do more creative things than just, here's some more 60s Daleks, or here's some more, don't get me wrong, I want to see 60s stuff, but I also want to see other things. I want to see things from New Who, and I know we've got a lot of the LTD stuff already for when the show was airing at that time, but I do just feel like, I don't know, we could get some more current era stuff or some Moffat era stuff, because for a long time with the Moffat era, the scales, the figure scale was in the 3.75 inch, so it'd be nice to get more of the 5-inch figures that we're accustomed to now. For example, I suppose the Nightmare in Silver Cyberman is one that I really want, and we just haven't had. By the way, if you haven't already and you're enjoying the stream, please do like the stream, let me know that you're enjoying it. Hello to Who Review. But yeah, let's get into the actual meat and potatoes of the stream, I guess, which is, not that, the next one. So, this, once again, I didn't want to make a whole video on this because I felt that with Twitter things, I think it's better to just be a part of a bigger live stream rather than the entire focus of a video. But this is just someone on Twitter who claims to be a Doctor Who insider. Obviously, massive, massive grain of salt here. Like imagine a salt factory, that's what you want to apply to this. Because it is just someone saying things. But equally, could have some merit. We don't know. I doubt it, but you never know, I suppose. But they say, hi, I have some news regarding the planned exit of Jodie's Doctor. As I have a family member who's been a producer on the show, on and off since 2008. Immediate red flags there with the, I have a family member who's a producer and he's been on Doctor Who, and yeah. Also working on SJA, as in Sarah Jane Adventures, and Class. If you watch the Series 11 teaser, trailer, cafe again closely, this is a clear exclusive of what to expect for Jodie's last episode. She is shown to be mirroring some elements from the 11th era. Yaz is shown to have friends at that moment after departing the Doctor in a 2022 special, and Ryan and Graham are at a stage where they have gone on their separate ways after their travelling Seeing the Dalek in a New Year special. Dan wasn't shown at this point, as Chris Chibnall didn't plan the character originally back in 2016/17. Chris has always planted seeds throughout the, and then I'll move it on to this bit, the Jodie era. Yet again, Torchwood was meant to be announced September with Eve and John announcing their returns, but this has been put on hold until the 60th anniversary as a potential option once discussions are held, and once again to discuss his potential revival. Yet again, Class has been discussed for coming back for a Series 2. I know they're not going to discuss a Series 2 of Class. That's not... No, the BBC aren't going to do that. The BBC... if the BBC are umming and ahhing about a Torchwood revival, which, let's face it, was the much more successful show of the two, then they're not going to think twice about a Class Series 2. I highly doubt that. But quite weirdly, that the gag of Unit, Chris and BBC Studios decided together to help fit in with Time Fracture and 13th Doctor era. On the subject of Unit, Kate and Osgood are planned to return soon to the show. That is something that I've heard before, so I wouldn't be surprised if that did happen, given all of the Time Fracture and the Lonely Assassins and all that. That would make sense. This is still expected to be a small cameo, though, as he wants to bring back Unit in a big search and in a big Earth invasion story, possibly in the 60th with the 14th Doctor. Yeah, I don't think Unit. I don't think a lot of this is true. I'm going to be honest. There's a bit more, but yeah, I can't see a Class Series 2, or if I'm being completely honest, another series of Torchwood, given what happened with John Barrowman, as well as just the fact that if the BBC, they barely give us a series of the main show every year, I doubt we're going to get spin-offs. I just doubt that the show is in a place where it would be able to do that, do 2 spin-offs concurrently. Given that, as I said, they can't even make a series a year of the main show. I highly doubt that, but carrying on. If you watch this, that's the same one, I think. Yeah, that's the same. I think. Wait, yeah, no, that's basically the entire thing, and that's just 2 extra images. Okay, so yeah, what do you guys think about that? I highly doubt that we'll get any form of spin-off under this current era, because I just don't think they'd be able to produce the main show and spin-offs consistently. I just can't see it. If they can't make the show come out consistently every year, I can't see them being able to do spin-offs. It's just not something I can imagine. As for the rest of it, it sounds plausible enough. I think the thing I find most interesting about this is the whole idea of the trailer from I want to say this 2017 trailer with the pizza, that actually tying into Jodie's ending. That's probably the most interesting part of that rumour to me, but I doubt it'll ever happen. That account messaged me too. I didn't respond to them. They replied saying Jodie is a waste of space, and I'm a fool for liking her. They're a spam account. Seen them, yeah, I thought they were, because, that all just sounded far too good to be true. It's a Class Series 2 and a Torchwood Series 5. It all sounded too good to be true. But at least we've spoken about it, and we've sort of highlighted how stupid it sounds. But yeah, I do like talking about them, even if it's pretty obvious they're not true. It's rumoured that a spin-off or comeback may happen when BBC 3 returns. I honestly doubt it. The only way I could think of it happening is if it wasn't the Doctor Who production team, because as I've said, there's no way they'd be able to make the show every year and a spin-off, because we don't even get the show every year. I can't see that happening. Tharries is saying they're doing Class Series 2. Literally nobody wants Class Series 2. Yeah, exactly. Nobody wants that. I don't really, There's no way that they're going to do a Class Series 2, because there's just not enough demand for it. Class, I think, has gained a bit more of a cult following as of recent, but it's not at the level of popularity it would need to be to get commissioned for a second series. It's just not. But the next thing, this is probably the main focus of the stream, so hit the like button if you're enjoying the stream so far. Jodie Whittaker could star in 2 Doctor Who specials for Time Lord Swan Song. Now, to be honest, right, a lot of people have speculated about these mirror articles, whether they're accurate, whether they're not. I hope I don't get copyright claimed for their video that they play on their article. Hopefully it'll be fine. But a lot of people have speculated about whether this is real or not. And I'm going to be honest, the more it gets reported by more people, the more I think there's something in it. And the amount of detail they've been going into recently, I haven't read this entire article, but the amount of detail and how specific they're being in, when she can regenerate, how long, and stuff like that, and what's going to happen after it. I think this is accurate. I think the more that they're reporting on it, the more that there's something in it. But that's just me. A look at the latest TV news from Doctor Who to the Morning Show, and a new star joining the split for the 3rd series of the drama. This is why, obviously, Nicola Metfin and Mark Jeffries. Nicola Metfin is obviously an interesting name because of her past with Doctor Who. Jodie Whittaker will star in 2 specials in her swan song as Doctor Who, to be filmed back to back with the upcoming series. They will air on BBC One next year and extend her run as the Time Lord into 2022, even though she'll actually hang up her sonic screwdriver when filming ends in the next couple of months. and that will be it for the 13th Doctor. Which means the second special must contain the all-important regeneration scene, in which she morphs into the 14th Doctor, whoever that may be. It's likely that the extra stories are 2 episodes that got shaved off the end of the upcoming run this autumn, which went from 10 to 8 installments due to COVID regulations slowing these down. So, according to this article, the 2 specials that are going to come are going to be what was originally intended if Series 13 turned out to be a 10-episode run, which is interesting. I heard some people say that the 2 specials are coming out of the 8 episodes we're already getting, so in fact it would be 6 regular episodes but then 2 specials, but this seems to contradict that. So while Jodie will be free to take on other roles pretty soon, she'll still officially be the Doctor on screen until at least next Easter next year, those in the know say. So obviously that would mean an Easter special, which isn't something that happened since Planet of the Dead in 2009 with David Tennant, and while reaction to that story was mixed, I like the idea of an Easter special, although I do find it weird that if Jodie is leaving in an Easter special, then she'll have had an Easter special, but not a Christmas special. That's bizarre to me, but showrunner Chris Chibnall doesn't like to be rushed, so BBC bosses might string things out by holding a special back for next summer or beyond. However, this makes the chance of a full series in 2022 with Jodie's successor seem slim. Only time and space will tell. So yeah, an interesting thing, the rest of it's not about Doctor Who really. So, but there is one more article. There's a Cult Box article and there's a follow-up article to this from the Mirror as well, which I'll be talking about in a minute. But yeah, what do you think about the idea of her leaving on an Easter special? I said I think I'd find it weird if she got an Easter special, but not a Christmas special. I find that very strange. Let me know what you guys think. It's hard to believe. To say goodbye to the 13th Doctor, but the 13th Doctor will have 2 specials for Christmas and New Year's Eve or day. It might be Easter according to this, but yeah, before the regeneration into the 14th Doctor. Basically, Thomas, we've just been going over some of the birthdays, as well as a B&M leak, a rumour from Twitter that's most 100% probably false, as well as the Mirror article covering Jodie's departure at Easter. Maybe. Yeah. I did not pick my nose. That is a lie. If the BBC want New Year specials because Christmas is too religious a holiday, but I don't think that's the reason. I'll be honest. I think that was just a thing that was floated about by certain people. I really don't think that that's the case, because then they wouldn't commission an Easter. I think it's just them wanting to do a different day. I don't know why. Maybe they just feel like... I think the part of the reason is if they get a special out on New Year's Day, they can technically say that there was, new Doctor Who content for, let's say, 2019, for example. Despite the fact that there wasn't a full series that year, they could still technically say, well, you had Resolution. I think that's why they do it more so than anything to do with it being religious. It's a hint that she'll regenerate into a bunny. Perhaps. God knows at this point. But yeah, there's another article on this from Cult Box. I always cover their stuff because it's always pretty good. Doctor Who rumour, Jodie Whittaker to film Regeneration scene this summer for 2022 specials. So, the interesting thing about this is that the Mirror sort of said Easter, but said it could be summer, and Cult Box seems to be running with the idea that it's summer, so there seems to be some discrepancy over which time of the year she actually is meant to be regenerating, but everywhere seems to be resolute in the idea that she is regenerating next year. Some additional information has come from the same journalist in regard to when Whittaker will film specials. The Mirror reports that, as suspected, Jodie Whittaker will film 2 2022 specials immediately after she finishes filming Series 13, which will reportedly air in autumn of 2021. On 14th of February, John Bishop, who plays Dan in Series 13, appeared on Sunday Brunch and stated that the series would film into July. With Series 13 filming into July, the 2 specials will likely commence filming in August. So, what interests me about that, though, is that would mean that either the Daleks that we've seen are for another special, or we're going to get our first regular Dalek story within the series of this era, because normally Daleks in this era are reserved for New Year's, they're reserved for that occasion, whereas this could mean that we'll just get a normal Dalek episode in the middle, which I kind of like the idea of a formula break. I think that would be cool, but I don't think it'll happen. I think that I still stand by the fact that I think the Dalek thing is for New Year's. I think that's when it'll happen. With two specials filming, this is what the Mirror reported. They will air on BBC One next year and extend her run as the Time Lord into 2022, even though she'll actually hang up her sonic screwdriver when filming ends in the next couple of months. If rumours are true, Whittaker's exit from the show will likely be officially announced this summer, as the actress will make known her availability for future productions, the Mirror reports. And obviously this summer, we are in the summer now, obviously we're heading towards the end of June. I honestly think if they're going to announce it, it's going to be on the 11th with the final of the Euros. They tend to like announcing things in sporting events. I think that's when it'll happen. So while Jodie may be free to take on other roles pretty soon, she'll still officially be the Doctor on screen until at least next Easter next year. And that's basically the same article, but it's very interesting. It's very interesting stuff. Do you agree with me though that you think that the Dalek special is actually for New Year's, or do you think it's part of the series? No, they're all filming it all together, so Series 13 and the specials will all be done by the end of July. To be honest, Pacifist, that makes more sense. I can't see them waiting between them, because, like, with, obviously, the only example we have would be, what is it? Revolution and Series 12. They were both filmed together. So it would make more sense to me if they were filmed together. I've seen the Radio Times suggest they might do an anniversary special next year, as it's the BBC's 150th anniversary. So basically the 60th special a year early to tie in with the BBC anniversary. It would be interesting. I doubt it though, because I think they do like the significance of 2023, or like, you know, I think they do like the significance of the third of every decade being like a Doctor Who's year. Obviously, the 50th. And even in 2003, you had BBC iMix Scream of the Shelker, and that was when the show wasn't on. 1993, you had Dimensions in Time. 1983, 5 Doctors. I think they want to keep that consistency. I doubt that they would change it now, but I mean, it could happen if the Radio Times are saying it. I don't know really about that. It's New Year's, I think, for the 13th Doctor, last one. The Christmas special will have time in Wonderland before Regeneration. Interesting. So Doctor Who replacement odds as Jodie Whittaker snubbed ahead of Exit. So this is basically about who could be like replacing her according to the bookies. You know, the other Doctors that are potentially, and I've had a brief read through these, and none of them to me seem very likely, but rumours are swirling that once again Jodie Whittaker has quit the role as the Time Lord, and she's not on the front cover of the Doctor Who Annual in 2022. We look at the bookies as favourites to replace her as the 14th Doctor. Jodie Whittaker has been left off the front cover of the latest Doctor Who Annual, leaving fans speculating that she's quit the role of the iconic time traveller. Instead, there is an image of the TARDIS the Doctor transports through time and space, disguised as an old blue telephone box. The Huddersfield-born actress, 38, created history when she became the first woman to play the role of the extraterrestrial in 2017. She fought off sexist backlash when she took over from Peter Capaldi, who was with the show for 3 years. His predecessor, Matt Smith, also stayed for the same amount of time, fueling speculation that Jodie will be following in their footsteps very soon. One thing I will say about this article is that they don't mention the Mirror's impact on allowing this to circulate, because they were the ones who initially reported that she was leaving. So they don't mention that they were the ones who actually said this. They're saying, oh yeah, it was started from the idea that she normally, they normally do 3 series. Not mentioning the fact that they literally said it was going to happen. So, bit of a shift in, I guess, blame there, but In January, BBC issued a statement which didn't confirm or deny the gossip, saying we won't be commenting on any speculation around Jodie's future on the show. As a bit of fun, we've looked at the current odds from a selection of gambling websites to see whether we can predict who will be the next person to grab her sonic screwdriver. So it's Michael Sheen first. I already think he's too obvious of a choice, because he's worked by David Tennant. And I think this article uses the fact that he's worked with David Tennant and he's worked at the BBC as means to say he could be the 40th Doctor, but to me that makes him too obvious. Although I would love a Welsh Doctor, I've said that before. He's Welsh, he's filmed in Wales, so he won't have a long commute. The superb actor is able to completely transform into any celebrities he's ever played, from Brian Clough to Kenneth Williams, from Tony Blair to Chris Tarrant. So he'd give those shape-shifting aliens, the Raxacolico-Valapatorians, they could have just said Slitheen, I'm going to be honest, a run for their money. Michael's already made a voice cameo appearance in the 2011 episode The Doctor's Wife, Plus, he's best mates with former Doctor David Tennant, his co-star in BBC One's Staged. I think, again, that makes him less likely, because I think the public already expect someone like that. And I think they like to cast ones that are, unknown. Or, not unknown necessarily, but unpredictable. Then again, I suppose Whittaker, a lot of people said she could be it because of Broadchurch, so I really don't know. Michaela Cole, 4-1 favourite at Boyle Sports. Again, I've said this before, I made a joke about this on Twitter. I feel like they just find anyone who's had a remotely popular show in the last year or two and go, yep, that's the next Doctor, everyone. I don't think she'll play the Doctor. She's written her own show that's been incredibly successful. I don't see why she'd give that up to play the Doctor, a role which she wouldn't have as much control over. The creator and star of The Astonishing I May Destroy You, who finally got the BAFTA award she deserves earlier this month, would be a great choice. Fans of Michaela, who first saw her in the C4 comedy drama Chewing Gum, will also know how funny and geeky she can be too. Another thing I find about a lot of these suggestions is that they always say that, the Doctor's geeky, which I guess is an aspect, I suppose, but it's a very small aspect, and I feel like just because someone can play geeky, it doesn't make them an automatic fit for the Doctor. And we'll see that in the next suggestion down there, Richard Ayoade. But she wouldn't be the first Doctor of Colour, strictly speaking. That honour goes to Joe Martin, who played the first reincarnation of Jodie Whittaker's 13th Doctor in 2020. By the way, they've left a gap between 13 and th, so that's very funny. But also, I find their wording interesting there, reincarnation of Jodie's 13th Doctor. As if to say that, she's an alternate version of Jodie's 13th Doctor. I find that very strange. Do the Mirror know something that we don't? Next up is Richard Ayoade, 9-1 on Paddy Power. A lot of people seem to want him, but again, I feel like just because someone can play geeky, it doesn't mean that they're automatically a good choice. For years, he's been the fans' favourite, and he's certainly got an out-of-this-world charm about him, but the showrunners may be keen to continue having a woman in the title role, which means Richard's followers could be disappointed. But as one TARDIS door closes, another one may open for him to be a companion. I think he'd be a better companion than a Doctor, in truth. It's a job that didn't do Billie Piper's career any harm when she played Rose opposite Christopher Eccleston in 2005, and wowed critics with her acting ability. Ollie Alexander, again, they've just picked people for a mildly popular TV shows. Obviously, because he was in It's a Sin, they just pick, who's been in a popular show, they'll be, and I'm going to be honest, I don't really see Ollie Alexander as the Doctor. A companion, maybe, but I feel like a Doctor has to have a certain vibe about them, and I just don't get that from Ollie Alexander necessarily, but could be wrong. The fresh-faced Yorkshireman who sings under the name Years and Years shot up the list after his starring role in RTD series It's a Sin. I still need to watch that in January this year. A spokesperson for Bucky's Ladbrokes said, fans have been incredibly impressed by Alexander's switch from musician to actor, and after wowing in It's a Sin, the odds have tumbled on him becoming the next Doctor. Plus, Ollie's latest single was called Starstruck. Is that a good omen? Yeah, I just don't see it. And as for their next one, which it'll eventually let me see, if it lets me scroll, no, they're not going to hire Katie Price. I don't know where they get these ideas from, but she's not going to be the 14th Doctor. She's an outside bet we grant you, an outside bet, an impossible bet, I would say. But as she'd say herself, never underestimate the pricey. If you've seen any of her reality shows, you know that life can quickly become more dramatic, as they say. Okay, drama in reality shows and drama itself are two very different things in terms of TV drama. They're not the same. Just because someone can make an explosive appearance in a reality show doesn't mean, yes, perfect, the Doctor. No. What? That moment when all the Time Lords banded together to seal Gallifrey in the Pocket Universe. More dramatic than, say, that moment where the Time Lords banded together to seal Gallifrey in the Pocket Universe. Plus, Katie's no stranger to going under the knife, so she'd take any regenerations when the Doctor changes personality and looks in her stride. No, it's not going to happen. I don't know where that suggestion came from, and anyone who bets... Right, I'm going to say this now. Anyone who bets on these people, anyone who bets on Katie Price, you're a fool. It's not going to happen. The others I can see to an extent, but Katie Price, nah, it's not. It's 200-1, which I guess would be the reason that you'd bet on her because her odds are that bad. But then equally, no. But what do you guys think? Do you guys think she'll have a chance? I very much doubt it. They should cast a 15-year-old as the Doctor. That'd get people watching. Yeah, just cast me. I'm pretty close to 15. That, just no. Rather Jodie over Michaela in terms of acting. I'd quit watching if Michaela was the next Doctor. Same for Chris Marshall, who honestly thinks he's a good choice. Yeah, I don't get why his name gets constantly uttered. I don't understand. Because I know that people say that he's good in Death in Paradise, but is that really, the equivalent to, oh my god, in the Confused Adipose Discord, someone wants Tom Holland as the Doctor. Kill that person. They don't deserve oxygen. No, I'm joking, that's not true. But, I'm sorry, Tom Holland is never going to do Doctor Who. He even said he wouldn't do, a Ben 10 movie. And let's be honest, I guess, a full Ben 10 movie would be bigger than Doctor Who as a TV show. Why would Tom Holland quit Hollywood, where he's playing Spider-Man for millions and millions of pounds, to go and sit in a Cardiff quarry and make about, what is it now, 400k a year, something like that, 300k? That there's no way that they would get. There's no way that he would be the Doctor. It's never gonna happen. I don't know why. I don't know in general, to be honest, why people keep casting Tom Holland in things just because he's Tom Holland. I don't get it. I don't mind Tom Holland. I enjoy Tom Holland, but he's not an actor that I feel like is suitable for every role. And I kind of feel like it's weird that everyone keeps casting him in literally everything to ever exist. I find that bizarre. Yeah, I don't understand that. Peter Capaldi was in Doctor Who Torchwood before he became the Doctor. That is true. I'm not saying that actors can't be the Doctor if they've already been in the show. Far from it. We've seen that can happen with both the 6th and 12th Doctor respectively. I'm just saying that the bookies' options are always just so mind-bogglingly incorrect that it kind of baffles me. Yeah, Tom Holland is a good actor, but he's never going to go do Doctor Who. And to be honest, I wouldn't want him to. He's not perfect for every role. He's a great actor, but he's not, perfect for every single role to ever exist. I'd like a more working-class Doctor like Nine Again, or an American. I wouldn't mind an American, honestly. I know that's probably heresy to say, but I wouldn't mind that too much. I feel like people get way too hung up on the idea of it being British. I find that very strange. As long as they've got the presence to me and they've got the acting ability, I really don't care too much about where they're from generally. I guess, if you want them to do a British accent, then fine. But a lot of American actors can do decent British accents and vice versa. So yeah, I don't really mind where they're from. In truth, Benny is the Doctor. You know what? I'd be down. Let's go. Benny for 14th Doctor. What else have you guys been saying? I feel like I've missed a bit of the chat recently, so apologies for that. I'm going to scroll up a bit, see what you guys are saying. Katie Price, she is not an actress. Yeah, exactly. She's not even an actress. Just because she plays characters in a reality show doesn't make her an actor. Just because she's in a reality show doesn't make her an actor. That's not how this works. She's a model, and children like me, Harvey Price Jr., Jet Princess, and Bunny. I don't know what any of that means, but I agree. I don't think we have any British actors left that haven't been a Doctor Who. That's also a problem, because I've made this joke before. I watched Cruella the other day. I didn't pay for it. Don't tell the mouse. The mouse has got enough money anyway. He's not going to miss my cheese. But I watched Cruella the other day, and it emphasised the joke that I've made for ages, that there's 3 British actors to ever exist. Because I was watching it with Adzinko, actually, who should still be in the chat. If you are, hey Adzinko. And I was literally going through it saying, oh, that's that person. Oh, that's that person. It's because you just recognise people, because obviously, Cruella's set in London, because that's where 101 Dalmatians is set. But yeah, I just find it funny that there's about 5 actors that are always in everything. And I think they will eventually run out. So, yeah. Yeah, it's not that I want an American actor, it's just more so that I wouldn't be, as opposed to it as some people would. I wouldn't, gasp and be like, they've taken away the role from British people. I wouldn't be like that. I don't mind Holland's Spider-Man, but I can't see how he's going to work as Nathan Drake in the Uncharted film, let alone how he could be the Doctor. I don't know much about Uncharted, so, that's a completely, a completely novel idea to me. I don't know much about it. But yeah, as for the Doctor, I just can't see it. I do feel like, even though, you know, I don't mind doctors being, I think, like, the lowest I would probably go for a doctor would be about, like, mid-20s. I wouldn't go much lower than that, because otherwise you lose that sort of age of the character. Like, of course, younger actors can play, like, older, as Matt Smith proved, but I do feel like the Doctor inherently has to have that sort of age behind the character. Even if it's not in the actor, they need to invoke that in through their performance, I feel. And I feel as though with picks like Ollie Alexander or Tom Holland, they're just too youthful as presences in order to be able to successfully convey the age, in my opinion. If Tom Holland ever ended up playing an older character, same goes for Ollie Alexander, or like, you know, portrayed as if he was older, I maybe could see it, but otherwise, nah, not for me. I want a former companion to be the next Doctor. I think that would be cool. I don't think it'll happen though. Honestly, I think with the most likely thing will happen will be it'll be someone else that Chibnall's worked with on maybe like Broadchurch, or but then again, there's not many people in Broadchurch left that they could choose realistically. I guess like who else is there? Like I think someone just that Chibnall's worked with before is probably the most likely option, rather than anyone that like obscure, unless Chibnall isn't staying for the 40th Doctor, in which case it could be literally anyone. My picks are Tina Miller and Katie McGrath. Seriously, Katie McGrath as the Doctor would be glorious. I haven't seen her in much, but as for Tina Miller, obviously I've seen those little cameos that she did where she says she knows who the next Doctor is. Honestly, I feel like people put a bit too much stock in those. I think they were more just jokes and she was sort of teasing fans. But then again, she has worked with Joe Martin, so maybe that's what she was referring to. I think, yeah, I just think that like with like Tina Miller, she could be okay, but I don't think she'll be the next one. But I wouldn't mind her, I don't think. Matt wasn't as unknown as Tom. Tom was very obscure. Matt at least got on in a scene with Billy Piper in The Secret Diary of a Call Girl. Oh, okay, I didn't know that. I didn't know that. I've seen that on BritBox, and I haven't watched it, so I may have to, especially if Matt Smith's in it. But yeah, is that how they know each other then? Because I know that Matt and Billy do know each other. Is that what they know each other from? Out of curiosity, I assume that's what it is. Apologies if you can hear anything in the background. It's basically what's been going on is that they've been painting the kitchen, so you might hear like the odd bit of sound coming from the kitchen. That's basically what it is. Can't be helped. But obviously, hope it's not been too distracting throughout this stream. In your mind, Hugh Grant or Jim Carrey would make a good Doctor. Hugh Grant is... they're probably both too old at this point. And as well, they're too famous. But I think that's going to end my stream for today. If you did enjoy, be sure to give it a like. We managed to just break 100 viewers, 101 when I saw it at its peak. So thank you for that. Thank you all for watching. Sorry for the brief. I always feel like make the outros too long. Not too long, too short rather. But thank you all for tuning in. And I will see you later. Goodbye.